off of a embarrassing outing, to say the least, Seattle looks to rebound in their Week 11 matchup versus the Arizona Cardinals. Let's talk about that. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach, and welcome to Zach Talks Hawks. This is the place where we talk everything Seattle Seahawks football, and I am excited to be back here with you on the channel this week for our Week 10 matchup. We had some computer processing difficulties here, and so what you need to know is I was extremely wrong versus the Green Bay Packers. I really thought Seattle was going to give us something. But regardless, it is a new week, as Week 11 of the NFL season is here for the teams that play on Sunday anyway, and we are going to be seeing a matchup that Seattle needs to have, given all the circumstances we're going to talk about today, in their matchup against the Cardinals. On paper, this would seem like a easy matchup to diagnose, especially with the news coming out late last night that Kyler Murray is not starting again for the Cardinals. He is going to be out, and Colt McCoy is going to be starting for Arizona. Now, if you know me on a personal level, you know that I am a big fan of Colt McCoy. I just think his career is very interesting, but that's another story for another day. I don't really care about Colt McCoy today because he's playing against Seattle at Lumen Field, and on paper, we would argue that there's a lot of opportunity to be had from the Seattle Seahawks. You have a backup quarterback walking into what can be a hostile environment, and arguably this is a make or break moment for the Seattle Seahawks. There was a quote floated out earlier in the week, I believe by Jamal Adams, that said, we can still finish with 11 wins and possibly win the division and run the table, and we'll be fine. That seems like a million miles away given their abysmal performance last week versus the Green Bay Packers. And we're going to be talking about what it's going to take for Seattle to perhaps pull out a victory against the mighty Arizona Cardinals. And they're going to be walking into the building sporting an undefeated record on the road. And so let's talk about what it's going to take for Seattle to really pull off the upset today at Lumen Field. Our keys to victory are up here on the screen. We're going to be talking about just some different aspects of the game that Seattle really needs to control. And first things first, Seattle needs to shut down the run today in order to have a chance for success against a Cardinal offense that is going to be limited in what they can do today with Colt McCoy. We also know that DeAndre Hopkins is out, has been out, will be out, and so this really puts Arizona in a bit of a box. We've seen over these last few weeks where they've been limited because of injury. It's going to take a Seattle run defense to put a halt to the Arizona run game and say, you know what, you're going to have to beat us passing the ball. And I think over these last few weeks, especially these last 4 weeks or so, where Ken Norton's defense has really made a turn to sporting the fourth best defense in the NFL over that period of time, Ken's really gotten on it with some exotic blitzes and being really creative about how they're going to rush the passer and disguise their coverage. You can get cute with all that stuff if Arizona becomes one-dimensional with Colt McCoy. It's going to take a little while for this team to give up on the run, especially with their limited options in the passing game, but it's going to have to start with those big guys up front trying to control the line of scrimmage and making Cliff Kingsbury and company beat the Seahawks through the passing game of Colt McCoy. If you do that, I think Seattle will be well on their way for victory today. Taking a look up here again, I put this second key to victory as a bit of a venting point, a bit of a frustration point for me, but Ultimately, this week has got to be about Russ up or shut up. And what I simply mean by that is we heard so much about Russell Wilson over these last 4 or 5 weeks, rehabbing from his finger injury, and he's rehabbing like 19 hours a day, and he was working hard and devoting himself. He was ultra focused, and that was a big reason why I thought that they were going to beat the Packers last week. And we were treated with what was the 4th worst performance out of Russell Wilson in terms of QBR for his entire career. And I don't know if it's rust. I don't know if that finger's still bugging him. He talked about how the finger didn't really bug him in terms of throwing the football. I would argue very much differently, because he missed a few throws. He underthrew a couple balls that he almost always makes. And the fact of the matter is that whether Seattle fans want to admit it or not, they're very much at the crossroads in the Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll era. And I think Pete, with his autonomy in the NFL, it is going to be really hard to say no to Pete Carroll and keep Russell Wilson for the long haul, especially with kind of the drama that surrounded him in the offseason. So I want to see a big game from Russell Wilson. I don't want to see DK Metcalf causing any more problems. I want to see Tyler Lockett more integrated into the offense. Eskridge is coming off of his injury 2 weeks ago, and he is slowly being integrated back into this offense. I really want to see what this offense that was so hyped up over the offseason transform into as the day progresses in Seattle. So it's Russ up or shut up time for the Seattle Seahawks. You are either going to ride or die with Russell Wilson, or we are just going to be limping into the offseason with no first round picks and a abysmal future ahead. Russell, this one is on you today. Taking a look at our third takeaway, we are going to see this game is going to be all about the 12s and making sure that noise is an issue. I say all this because Colt McCoy is coming off of an environment where it doesn't really compare to what Seattle can be. And I preface that because Seattle football has not found themselves in this position in terms of fan support in quite a long time. We're going to really see just how many bandwagon fans are going to be on that 12 ship today when we take a look and gauge how ruckus this game can be. This is a classic fans make the difference game, right? No offensive weapons to be had. Your quarterback's out. Limited practice time. Your defensive superstar in J.J. Watt, he's hurt. So you're trying to gauge what you're going to do defensively. And all of these things morph into a very winnable game if the crowd brings it today. Problem is, Seattle's got 3 wins on the year, and they aren't very good, and the franchise is in a bit of a bind. So where's this fan base going to be today? The 12s need to be heard today. They need to bring their support, and they need to disrupt a game that is very winnable for the Seattle Seahawks, barring everything that is going on with Arizona this week. And that's going to bring me to my prediction, and I'm going to go out on a limb here one more time. I went out on a limb for Seattle last week, got burnt real bad, and I hope that they prove me right this week. I think Colt McCoy is going to stink it up today. I don't think that we're going to see 2 atrocious weeks in a row from Russell Wilson. I hope that he bounces back and bounces back well. This game is all going to be about Russell Wilson executing and performing. And Seattle makes that turn, kind of starts to silence those doubters and says, you know what, we're not done here yet. We're going to win this game 31-10. And I hope I'm right, and I can't wait to talk about this game with you here real soon. Until then, keep talking Hawks, and comment and down below and let me know what you think this outcome is going to look like today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you about Seahawks football again real soon.